What if the scarcity you have battled your entire life was never real at all? What if the emptiness you feel when you look at your bank account, the pressure that rises when bills arrive, and the fear that whispers in the night were nothing more than shadows, illusions created by pictures you have carried for too long? What if the very moment you shifted that picture, everything changed? Not slowly, not someday, but instantly. Tonight, I am going to give you the visualization that transforms scarcity into overflow, that lifts you out of the cycle of lack and plants you firmly in the rhythm of abundance. This is not theory, this is law. And when you learn to work with it, life has no choice but to respond. Scarcity is not an external condition, it is an internal agreement. It is the quiet contract you have signed, perhaps unknowingly, with the images you allow to fill your mind. For years, maybe decades, you have rehearsed pictures of insufficiency. You have imagined not enough. You have spoken of shortage. You have repeated the story of struggle until it became the rhythm of your life. And so the law, which never argues, never hesitates, never contradicts, simply reproduces what you have given it. It does not judge. It does not ask whether this is good or bad for you. It only obeys. And the result has been a harvest of limitation. But here's the truth you have been waiting to hear. Scarcity was never real. It was only rehearsed. It was only pictured. It was only spoken. The moment you change the image, the moment you dare to visualize something different, the law begins its holy work. Supply rushes in. Opportunities appear. Doors open. The world rearranges itself to match the vision. From the very moment you see overflow, sincerely and persistently, life must move to reproduce it. Close your eyes and see with me. Imagine a river flowing endlessly. Imagine it wide, strong, unstoppable. Now picture yourself on the banks of that river with a cup so small you cannot possibly hold what it offers. You dip it in and you have a sip, but the river does not notice. It continues to rush, overflowing, abundant, unmeasurable. That river is divine supply. That river has always been flowing, independent of your bank balance, independent of your salary, independent of the economy. The problem is not the river. The problem is the cup you have carried. You have approached infinite supply with a thimble, and so you have lived as though supply were small. The work is not to make the river flow. The work is to change your vessel, to change your picture, to change the mold of your thought. Geneviève Behrend once declared, "Visualize, and you will materialize." She knew that imagination is the workshop of the soul, the architect's table where your destiny is designed. When you picture overflow, you enlarge the vessel, you expand your capacity, you give the law something greater to fill, and it must fill it because law cannot resist a clear, persistent, unwavering image. It is as faithful as gravity, as precise as mathematics, as inevitable as sunrise. Think of this: a man who constantly pictures his debts cannot escape them. He may work hard, he may strategize, he may negotiate, but the picture of debt in his mind calls more debt into his experience. Meanwhile, another man, with equal skill and no greater opportunity, dares to picture freedom, dares to see his accounts overflowing, dares to feel the joy of bills dissolved and supply pouring in. And somehow, mysteriously, his life arranges itself in favor of that picture. Not because he is luckier, not because he is smarter, but because he holds the picture of overflow. You must learn to do the same. Tonight, begin a new visualization. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and imagine your life not as it has been, but as it is in truth. Picture yourself walking into a store, paying without hesitation, not from arrogance, but from peace. Picture yourself giving generously, knowing that every gift returns multiplied. Picture yourself receiving money in ways you could never predict, unexpected channels, surprising opportunities, sudden windfalls. Hold that picture as if it were already real. Refuse to picture anything else. Refuse to rehearse lack. Refuse to feed the shadows of fear. One image of overflow, held with faith, will erase years of scarcity. Do not underestimate this. The law does not work because of struggle. It does not respond to force. It responds to clarity, to persistence, to faith. When you see overflow clearly, consistently, unwaveringly, the subconscious must accept it. And once accepted, it must be expressed. This is the bridge from scarcity to abundance. It is not time, it is not effort, it is the picture. So I ask you, what picture rules your mind tonight? Do you see bills piling higher? Do you see opportunities slipping away? Do you see struggle continuing? Then that is what law must obey. But if you dare right now to picture something different, to picture overflow, supply, freedom, then law must obey that instead. You are not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on you. It waits on the picture you choose. It waits on the mold you provide. It waits on the vision you hold. And when you give it a new vision, life begins to shift. Remember, scarcity is a lie. Overflow is the truth. Scarcity is the shadow. Overflow is the substance. Scarcity is the result of unconscious pictures. Overflow is the reward of conscious visualization. Choose wisely, for the law will never fail to reproduce what you choose. So tonight, choose overflow. See it, feel it, accept it, and watch the law move. What happens when you truly choose overflow? What happens when you refuse to let the old picture of scarcity dominate your mind? At first, there is resistance. The old image fights back. Years of worry, years of fear, years of repeating the same story have created grooves in your subconscious. These grooves do not disappear overnight. They whisper, "Be careful, it's not safe. What if it doesn't work?" And yet, each time you return to your new picture, each time you hold the vision of supply instead of shortage, you cut a new groove. You begin to retrain the subconscious. And eventually, the old grooves fade while the new groove deepens. Then overflow becomes natural. Then abundance feels normal. Then wealth seems inevitable. This is why persistence is everything. You cannot expect a single moment of visualization to undo years of worry. You must repeat it. You must return to it daily. You must hold the picture again and again until it becomes stronger than the old one. But here's the good news. One image held with conviction has more power than 1,000 scattered fears. You do not need to fight every doubt. You need only refuse to abandon your vision. Return to it again and again, and watch how quickly it begins to dominate your mind. Imagine now that you are standing in the middle of your life as though it were a house. For years, every wall has been painted with scarcity. Every room whispers lack. Every corner reminds you of bills, debts, fears. But tonight you pick up a new brush. You begin painting new images on those walls. You see abundance on one wall, freedom on another, generosity on another. Each time you visualize, you paint over the old picture. Each time you affirm, you reinforce the new color. And eventually the entire house of your life is repainted. Scarcity no longer remains. Only overflow fills the space. Let us practice again. Close your eyes and breathe slowly. Picture a table before you. On it are two envelopes. One is marked scarcity. The other is marked overflow. For years you have opened the first. You have read its contents daily. Words of not enough, words of fear, words of lack, and the law has faithfully obeyed. But tonight you close that envelope forever. You set it aside. You pick up the envelope marked overflow. You open it. Inside you see words of abundance, words of freedom, words of supply. And as you read them, you feel your entire being shift. You whisper, "I choose overflow. I choose abundance. I choose supply." Carry this image with you. Each time fear tries to pull you back, imagine closing the envelope of scarcity and opening the envelope of overflow. Each time doubt arises, picture yourself repainting the walls of your inner house. Each time worry whispers, return to the vision of the river of supply flowing endlessly at your side. This is how you train your mind. This is how you transform your life. Not by force, not by fighting, but by choosing again and again. Now, let us address another secret: gratitude. Gratitude is the emotion that seals the picture. It is the feeling that convinces the subconscious that the vision is already real. When you visualize wealth but feel anxious, the subconscious remains uncertain. But when you visualize wealth and feel grateful, the subconscious accepts it as fact. Gratitude is the bridge between imagination and reality. Gratitude is overflow already embodied. Gratitude says, "It is done. I have received, I am supplied, and the law must agree." So begin to practice gratitude now. Picture your bills paid and whisper thank you. Picture your bank account full and say, "I am grateful." Picture opportunities flowing and declare, "I receive with joy." The more you add gratitude to your pictures, the faster they take root. Because gratitude removes doubt. Gratitude ends contradiction. Gratitude transforms hope into certainty. Gratitude is the vibration of overflow. Say this with me now. I am grateful for supply. I am grateful for abundance. I am grateful that overflow is mine now. I do not wait to be thankful. I give thanks in advance, for I know that the law has already obeyed my vision. Think of how differently you would live if you practiced this daily. Instead of waking with worry, you would wake with thanks. Instead of paying bills with fear, you would pay with gratitude. Instead of fearing the future, you would picture overflow and give thanks that it is already yours. Gratitude is not courtesy. Gratitude is not politeness. Gratitude is power. It is spiritual law in action. And here is something extraordinary. Gratitude multiplies what it touches. When you are grateful for the little, it grows. When you give thanks for the seed, it becomes a harvest. When you bless the dollar, it returns multiplied. This is why Jesus said, "Give thanks," before the loaves and fishes multiplied. Gratitude is the command that tells the universe, "This is enough," and because it is enough, it must expand. Scarcity says, "It is not enough." Gratitude says, "It is more than enough." And the law agrees with whichever voice you choose. So practice now. Take whatever is in your hand, a coin, a bill, a card, hold it, bless it. Say aloud, "I am grateful for this supply. It is a seed that returns multiplied. It is a symbol of overflow. It expands, it circulates, it multiplies. I bless it and it blesses me." Feel the shift. Feel how even the smallest amount takes on a new energy when touched with gratitude. It is no longer just a coin, it is a seed. It is no longer just a bill. It is a symbol of infinite supply. And when you treat it this way, money ceases to feel like a master and becomes your servant. It ceases to feel like a chain and becomes a channel. Gratitude transforms money from weight to flow, from fear to freedom. So tonight, remember, scarcity is only a picture. Overflow is only a picture. The law will obey whichever picture you hold. Choose gratitude, choose overflow, choose abundance, and watch the universe rush to agree. There is another principle you must understand if you are to cross fully from scarcity into overflow. It is the principle of consistency. Most people dabble in visualization. They try it when they remember, they practice it when they feel inspired, and then they abandon it when fear or distraction comes. But the law does not respond to occasional practice. It responds to rhythm, to repetition, to persistence. Just as a seed requires daily sunlight and water to grow, your picture requires daily attention. If you visualize for a moment and then abandon the picture for days, you are starving the seed. But if you return daily, faithfully, rhythmically, the seed cannot fail to sprout. Geneviève Behrend often said that your picture must be as clear and constant as the blueprint of a house. Imagine a builder who looked at a blueprint once, then tossed it aside and guessed at the rest. The house would collapse. The walls would not align. The foundation would crack. But when the builder holds the blueprint before him every day, measuring, cutting, aligning according to the picture, the house rises perfectly. So it is with your mind. Your mental picture is the blueprint of your financial house. Hold it daily. Align every word, every thought, every feeling to it, and your life cannot fail to rise in harmony with the design. This is why contradiction is so costly. When you hold the blueprint of overflow in the morning, but speak words of lack by night, you are tearing down the very walls you just built. When you visualize freedom one moment and complain of struggle the next, you are sawing through the beams of your own house. And then you wonder why progress is slow, why manifestation delays. It is not that the law has failed, it is that you have not held the blueprint steadily. You must choose one picture and remain faithful to it. Let us pause here and practice. Close your eyes. Picture your financial life as a house under construction. See the foundation strong and stable. See the walls rising with precision. Each visualization is a brick, each affirmation a nail, each word of faith a beam. Now imagine yourself entering this house once complete. The rooms are filled with peace, the cupboards with food, the closets with plenty. Every corner whispers supply, every wall radiates abundance. This is the house your mind is building, and it will not collapse because the blueprint is consistent. Whisper now, "My mind holds the blueprint of overflow. I return to it daily. I remain faithful to it. My house of abundance rises perfectly by law." Consistency does not mean perfection. You may stumble, you may forget, you may even fall back into old fears. but the key is return. Always return to the picture. Always return to the blueprint. Always return to the vision. The law does not punish you for mistakes. It responds to persistence, and persistence always triumphs. Even if you held the wrong picture for years, a few weeks of faithful visualization can begin to shift the entire trajectory of your life. Do not despair at lost time. The moment you align, the moment you persist, the law responds. Now let us look at another truth. Imagination and speech must walk together. Visualization plants the seed, but your words water it. If you picture overflow but speak lack, the subconscious grows confused. But when your picture and your speech agree, the subconscious accepts the vision as reality. This is why careless words are so dangerous. Each time you say, "I can't afford it," you are tearing the picture. Each time you joke about being broke, you are watering weeds. Each time you complain about money, you are commanding scarcity. Words are not casual. Words are commands. And the subconscious, like the soil, will always reproduce the seed you plant. So watch your mouth. Guard your words. Refuse to speak lack. Instead, let your speech agree with your vision. Say often, "I am abundantly supplied. Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. My supply is endless." When you say these words while also holding the picture of overflow, you create coherence, and coherence is irresistible. The law cannot resist a coherent command. It must obey. Say it now with me. My vision and my words agree. I picture abundance and I speak abundance. I picture overflow and I declare overflow. I picture freedom and I decree freedom. My mind is aligned, my word is aligned, and the law obeys. As you practice this, notice how quickly the atmosphere of your life changes. People begin to treat you differently. Opportunities begin to appear. Solutions to old problems rise without effort. Money begins to flow in ways you did not predict. This is not magic. This is not coincidence. This is law, obeying your coherent picture and word. Here is an image you can carry to reinforce this truth. Imagine a garden. Each visualization is a seed you plant. Each word is the water you pour. Each feeling of gratitude is the sunlight. Together, these elements guarantee a harvest, but if you plant seeds and never water them, they wither. If you water weeds of fear instead of seeds of faith, they overtake the garden. If you block the sun with constant doubt, the plants cannot grow. But when you tend your garden faithfully, seeding with visualization, watering with words, shining with gratitude, you cannot fail to reap abundance. It may not appear overnight, but the harvest is inevitable, because law cannot fail, soil cannot resist seed, and the subconscious cannot ignore a consistent command. So treat your mind as a garden. Plant wisely, water faithfully, shine brightly, and know that overflow is inevitable. Say now, my mind is a garden. I plant only seeds of wealth, I water only seeds of abundance. I shine only gratitude, and my harvest is inevitable. This is how you cross from scarcity to overflow. Not through sudden fortune, not through luck, not through random chance, but through steady practice, through visualization, through affirmation, through gratitude, through persistence. Each act builds upon the last until the momentum becomes unstoppable. And once overflow begins, it multiplies, because wealth, like water, follows flow. Once the stream is opened, it widens. Once the channel is cleared, it deepens. Once circulation begins, it multiplies. Remember this truth. Scarcity is never final. Overflow is always possible, but you must choose it, you must picture it, you must persist in it. Do not wait for proof. Do not demand evidence. Evidence follows vision, not the other way around. Believe first, picture first, decree first, and the evidence must come. So tonight, choose again, choose overflow, and never let it go. There comes a moment in every transformation where the inner picture feels more real than the outer circumstances. At first, it may feel like you are pretending. You visualize abundance while your bank account shows lack. You picture overflow while bills arrive at your door. You speak supply while others around you complain of shortage. And yet, if you persist, if you hold to your vision without apology, something miraculous occurs. The outer world begins to bend toward the inner picture. Opportunities show up, debts dissolve, resources arrive. The picture begins to take shape and matter. This is the law in motion, and it never fails. Think of it this way. Your outer life is the photograph. Your inner picture is the negative. The photograph can change only when the negative is replaced. Most people spend their lives trying to scratch, cut, or paint over the photograph, but the image remains. Why? Because the negative is untouched. But when you change the negative, when you dare to create a new mental picture, the photograph must be reproduced accordingly. This is why you must stop trying to fix the outside and start creating on the inside. The cause is within. The effect is without. Say it with me now. I no longer fight the picture outside. I change the picture inside, and the law reproduces it without delay. One of the greatest obstacles to abundance is the habit of measuring by appearances. You see a small bank balance and you call it truth. You see unpaid bills and you declare them reality. But appearances are shadows. They are yesterday's picture. They are the echo of old thoughts. If you keep focusing on them, you keep reproducing them. But if you dare to ignore them, if you dare to hold your picture of overflow instead, then appearances must change. They cannot resist a new picture held with conviction. Geneviève Behrend taught that when you visualize clearly and persistently, the subconscious mind begins to direct you, guide you, and connect you with every channel necessary for the vision to appear. Sometimes the money arrives directly, sometimes the idea comes, sometimes a person appears, sometimes a door opens that was closed. But always, always, the vision finds its way into form. Your job is not to dictate the form. Your job is to hold the picture, to remain faithful. To refuse contradiction, the rest is handled by law. Let us practice again. Close your eyes and see yourself 1 year from today. Your debts dissolved, your accounts full, your heart free. See yourself walking with ease, speaking with confidence, living with generosity. Picture the relief, the joy, the freedom. Hold that image until you feel it in your body. Breathe into it. Smile into it. Let it become more real than anything you see around you and say softly, I accept this picture as my reality now. The law is already reproducing it. Overflow is inevitable. There is another principle you must understand. Circulation. Money is meant to flow. It is not meant to be hoarded, clutched, or gripped in fear. Just as blood must circulate for the body to live, so money must circulate for your financial life to thrive. When you spend with fear, you cut the flow. When you give with anxiety, you block the stream. But when you release money with joy, with faith, with expectation, the flow multiplies. What you give returns. What you circulate expands. What you bless blesses you. This is law. So each time you spend, pause and declare, this money returns multiplied. This payment expands my supply. This circulation keeps me in the flow of abundance. Say it when you pay a bill, when you give a gift, when you invest in yourself. Never release money in silence again. Always release it with declaration. For your words are the command that activates the law. Scarcity says, I have lost. Overflow says, it returns multiplied. Choose overflow. Now, consider the power of assumption. You cannot wait until you see overflow to feel abundant. You must feel abundant now. You must walk, speak, and act as though the vision were already complete. When you assume wealth, you collapse time. The law does not distinguish between assumption and possession. The moment you live as though it is yours, the law agrees, and the evidence must appear. This is why you must stop living as though you are poor. Stop speaking as though you are broke. Stop expecting shortage. Begin living as though you are wealthy. Begin speaking as though you are supplied. Begin expecting overflow. The law responds to assumption. Say it with me. I assume my abundance now. I act as though it is already mine. I walk as though I am already supplied. I speak as though I am already wealthy. My assumption is my command. My command is my law, and my law is overflow now. This practice may feel uncomfortable at first. Your senses may resist. Your habits may argue, but persist anyway. Because the moment your subconscious accepts the assumption, the law begins to reproduce it. And once it begins, nothing can stop it. Overflow will become natural. Abundance will feel ordinary. Supply will seem inevitable because you aligned with law. Think of those who have demonstrated this truth. Men and women who came from nothing, yet pictured abundance until it appeared. They did not wait for evidence to believe. They believed until evidence appeared. They did not wait for proof to picture. They pictured until proof arrived. This is the path from scarcity to overflow, and it is available to you now. So tonight, refuse to rehearse scarcity any longer. Refuse to picture lack. Refuse to declare shortage. Choose overflow. Picture it daily. Speak it faithfully. Assume it boldly. Circulate it joyfully. And watch the law obey. When you first step into the practice of overflow, doubt will whisper. It will tell you that nothing is happening. It will point to your circumstances and laugh. It will remind you of every past failure, every unpaid bill, every closed door. This is the voice of scarcity, trying to seduce you back into its prison. You must refuse it. You must say aloud, I no longer follow appearances. I follow law. I no longer measure by lack. I measure by vision. I no longer listen to fear. I listen to truth. Every time doubt arises, answer it with declaration, for your words are weapons and silence is surrender. Geneviève Behrend once said that your mental picture, when held with faith, becomes irresistible. The universe itself must rearrange to bring it forth. She was right, because the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. It only knows what picture you persist in holding. If you hold lack, it must reproduce lack. If you hold overflow, it must reproduce overflow. The mind is faithful. It cannot do otherwise. This is why you must never allow the wrong picture to dominate. Cancel it, replace it, return to your chosen image, again and again, until overflow feels more real than lack, until supply feels more natural than shortage, until abundance feels inevitable. So let us practice once more. Imagine yourself tomorrow morning. You open your account and you smile. The numbers reflect freedom. You pay what you need to pay with ease. You give to whom you wish to give with joy. You invest where you are led with faith. There is no hesitation, no fear, no grasping, only flow, only peace, only confidence. Hold this picture, feel it, and whisper to yourself, this is my truth. This is my life. This is already done. Now here is a deeper principle, gratitude. Gratitude is the fertilizer of overflow. It multiplies whatever you place it upon. If you complain about bills, they expand. If you worry about lack, it grows. But if you give thanks for every dollar, every opportunity, every resource, no matter how small, it multiplies. Gratitude tells the universe, I accept supply, I honor supply, I am ready for more supply. And the universe responds. Overflow flows where gratitude lives. Scarcity lingers where complaint lives. Choose gratitude. Each night, before you sleep, review your day and give thanks for every form of supply you encountered. The smile of a stranger, the opportunity of a call, the unexpected discount, the gift received, the strength in your body, the ideas that came, the meals you ate. All of it is supply. All of it is abundance. And when you give thanks, you expand the flow. Your subconscious records your gratitude and multiplies the pattern. Soon, you wake each morning with evidence of greater supply, because you trained your mind to notice, appreciate, and expand abundance. Say it aloud now. I am grateful for my wealth. I am grateful for my supply. I'm grateful for the flow of money, ideas, and opportunities. Gratitude multiplies everything I touch. Overflow is inevitable. You may wonder why this law works so precisely. The answer is simple. The subconscious is a perfect servant. It accepts without judgment. It creates without hesitation. It reproduces without fail. If you give it a picture of lack, it obeys. If you give it a picture of abundance, it obeys. It does not choose. You choose. And whatever you choose consistently becomes your reality. That is why you must discipline your imagination. It is the workshop of destiny. It is the architect of fortune. Guard it, protect it, direct it, and it will serve you faithfully. Think of money as energy. It is not moral. It is not emotional. It does not choose sides. It simply obeys law. It flows to where it is welcomed. It multiplies where it is blessed. It stagnates where it is feared. It disappears where it is cursed. Your relationship with money is entirely energetic. If you treat it as friend, it returns as friend. If you treat it as enemy, it hides. So love it, bless it, welcome it, and it will stay. It will grow. It will serve. Now imagine the next 24 hours of your life. You wake with gratitude. You picture wealth. You speak supply. You circulate joyfully. You assume abundance. You cancel lack. You bless every transaction, and you repeat this rhythm all day long. What will happen? Your vibration will shift. People will notice. Opportunities will appear. Money will move, and overflow will begin to show itself. Not because you worked harder, not because you forced outcomes, but because you aligned with law, and law never fails. Most people sabotage themselves because they are inconsistent. They picture abundance one hour, fear the next. They speak supply one day, complain the next. They assume wealth in the morning, doubt in the evening, and the universe receives a scrambled signal. So nothing changes. But when you choose consistency, when you decide to hold one picture without wavering, miracles occur. The signal becomes clear, the law responds, and overflow becomes reality. Say it with me now. I am consistent. I hold one picture. I refuse contradiction. I persist until overflow is visible. I will not waver. I will not doubt. I will not quit. My picture is abundance. My word is supply. My faith is overflow. And so it is. This is the great secret, persistence. A single clear picture held faithfully outpowers years of fear and decades of doubt. You do not need to fight every negative thought. You only need to return again and again to your chosen vision. Like a compass returning to north, your mind will always return to the picture you feed most. Feed it abundance, feed it overflow, feed it wealth, and that is what your life will reproduce. So tonight, choose the picture. Tomorrow, repeat it. Each day, return to it and watch as the universe bends to your vision. Scarcity cannot resist a persistent mind. Lack cannot survive a consistent word. Overflow is inevitable for the one who refuses to let go of the vision. There is one final truth you must take with you if you are to live in perpetual overflow: identity. You cannot picture yourself as poor while trying to visualize wealth. You cannot speak abundance while secretly believing you are cursed. You cannot declare overflow while deep inside you identify as one who always struggles. The law will always reproduce the identity you hold most deeply. If you see yourself as lacking, life will agree. If you see yourself as supplied, life will agree. Identity is the mold that shapes every result. Until you change who you believe you are, you will keep returning to the same condition. So tonight, I invite you to choose a new identity. No longer the struggler, no longer the one who never gets ahead, no longer the one always chasing bills. Choose instead, I am wealth in motion. I am overflow embodied. I am abundance personified. Repeat it until it feels true. Repeat it until your subconscious accepts it. Repeat it until the world reflects it. Because the moment your identity shifts, the law obeys, and everything around you rearranges. Say it aloud now. I am abundance. I am overflow. I am wealth. I am free. Notice how those words feel in your body. Notice how your breath deepens, how your posture rises, how your spirit expands. Identity is not theory. Identity is embodiment. When you claim it, you begin to walk differently, speak differently, decide differently. And every decision, every action, every word confirms the new identity. Overflow ceases to be something you chase. It becomes something you are. And because you are it, life must reflect it. Let us anchor this with one last visualization. Close your eyes. See yourself standing on a bridge. Behind you is scarcity, years of fear, of lack, of limitation. Before you is overflow, endless supply, peace, freedom, generosity. The bridge is your choice. You step forward, you leave scarcity behind forever. You walk into overflow, not as visitor but as resident. You cross with confidence, with faith, with joy. And as you reach the other side, you declare, I live in overflow now. Scarcity is gone. Abundance is my permanent home. Take this seriously. Each time fear arises, remember the bridge. Each time doubt whispers, see yourself crossing again. Each time old patterns return, repeat. I live in overflow now, and the law will honor it, because the law cannot resist a clear identity spoken with conviction. Remember this: the universe is not waiting to bless you. It has already blessed you. The river of supply has always been flowing. The only question is, will you dip your cup in scarcity or in overflow? Will you picture lack or will you picture abundance? Will you speak fear or will you speak faith? The choice is always yours, and whatever you choose, the law will agree. So choose wisely, choose consistently, choose boldly, and overflow will become inevitable. From this moment forward, live as one who is already supplied. Pay bills as one who is free. Give as one who is rich. Receive as one who is worthy. Speak as one who is abundant. Picture as one who is overflowing. And soon your world will rearrange to reflect the identity you carry. Because law does not hesitate, it does not argue, it does not delay, it only obeys. And when you give it the identity of overflow, it must reproduce overflow. Say one last time with me: I am overflow now. I am wealth in motion. I am abundantly supplied, and so it is. Now, if you have stayed with me through this entire journey from scarcity to overflow, know that something within you has already shifted. The picture is alive, the seed is planted, the identity is chosen, and the law is at work. Do not return to the old. Do not rehearse scarcity again. Keep the picture, guard it, feed it, and overflow will not just appear, it will expand, multiply, and remain. This is your truth. This is your law. This is your life. So step forward boldly, walk as overflow, live as abundance. Command wealth not with fear, but with certainty. The universe is listening, the law is obeying, and your new life has already begun.